तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and we are in the conversations of October 27th, 1882, when Keshav had come on a steamer and Sri Ramakrishna was lifted through a boat to the steamer. He was immersed in samadhi for a long time, and when he came to normal consciousness, he started talking, and Keshav asked him a question with a smile. Describe to us, sir, in how many ways Kali, the Divine Mother, sports in this world. It suggests that Keshav had heard from Sri Ramakrishna and he wanted others to hear, and he wanted to hear that again also. So he asked it. Master, with a smile. Smile means that you have heard it again and you want it again for others. Oh, she plays in different ways. It is she alone who is known as Mahakali, Nityakali, Smashanakali, Rakshakali, and Shamakali. 1 minute. Before I take up this topic, this is the point we are going to start today. But before I take up this topic, you remember, on 2 days I talked about vegetarian and non-vegetarian diets. And I had requested the listeners to ask me any questions by WhatsApp or email. I have received an email. I do not know the person, but from phone number, I have received an email and I read it out to you and offer my remarks. Maharaj-ji, length of intestines in meat eater, lion, etc. is much smaller than human beings. Non-veg mass after digestion produces obnoxious gases. Animals eating meat throw their excreta in much less time than by human beings. Thus, meat eating is harmful to humans' science point of view also. Meat eater humans leave very bad foul smell in bathrooms as compared to vegetarians. Kindly enlighten. Kind regards. Now, first thing is that if the meat in lion, the intestines in lions are smaller than human beings, it has nothing to do with human beings eating meat or not. I already told you that day that animals eat meat raw, while man cooks and eats it and makes it as digestible as any other food. First point. Second point, this after digestion produces obnoxious gases. I don't think this is universal. And suppose it is universal, I am not in knowledge of it, but if it is universal and still people eat meat, that means they ignore this defect and they eat meat. That is point number 2. Then the throwing a much less time again is not the reason for man not eating meat. Now, thus meat eating is harmful to humans. Thus means reasons. I do not find any connection between these 3 things and man's habit of vegetarian and non-vegetarian. So Bertrand Russell says our logic is involved only in the syllogism. That means the reader has put, listener has put 3-4 steps and says thus. But I don't find any connection now. Thus, maybe intestine is smaller, maybe obnoxious gases are produced, maybe they throw excreta early, maybe man leaves bad gases in bathroom also. But how that is connected with man eating and not eating, I do not find any connection. So that is my reply. And one point which I have told, it is not universal. I may add here that it's my individual opinion here that non-veg mass after digestion produces obnoxious gases. I think non-veg mass after indigestion produces obnoxious gases. That may be the point. All people who are not habituated to meat eating, if they eat meat, this may happen. And if it does happen universally, of which I am not aware, but that does not hamper, because the percentage of people eating non-veg is increasing day by day. And as I told you, from ancient times, Kshatriyas have always eaten non-veg, and the lower caste, below the Vaishya level, what we call scheduled caste, lower caste people have no camps. They have always been eating meat. It is only the Brahmins and Vaishyas who have some hesitation about eating meat. The Vaishyas, as a rule, do not eat meat, and the Brahmins, ancient times they have been eating, but due to Buddha's influence, they may not eat meat. But today, all Kshatriyas eat, all the lower caste people eat, and how, in spite of these obnoxious gases they eat, we have to ask them. So, this thus means these are the reasons. I do not find how they are connected with man's habit of eating meat or vegetarian diet. And as I said, I am not recommending any, I am not favoring any. I put before you what the Vedic Vedas said. I put before you what Swami Vivekananda says, what P.V. Kane says. All this I have put before you. Now let me come to today's topic. And in the today's topic, we are coming to different forms of Kali. Now, Mahakali and Nitya Kali are mentioned in the Tantra philosophy. And Thakur is explaining, it appears that Mahakali and Nitya Kali may be 2 names for the same form of Kali. When there were neither the creation, nor the sun, the moon, the planets, and the earth, and when darkness was enveloped in darkness, that is Nasadiya Sukta language, Then the mother, the formless one, Mahakali, the great power, was one with Mahakala, the absolute. So, Kala, Kali does not mean black at all. Mahakala means the great time. The Shakti, Mahakala, the consort is Mahakali. Mahakala feminine is Mahakali. Mahakala and Mahakali are always together, especially after the Pralaya, she is there. When nothing else is there, she is that power which will create later on. So, the Absolute itself in female form is called Mahakali. And in all probability, same is Nitya Kali. Now, next. Mahakali was one with Mahakala, the Absolute. Anyway, I remember here one of my experiences, you find if it is helpful. When I visited Nilkanta Mahadev first, in those days, I remember, if you today you go to Nilkanta, you will not find anything which I am describing. They have improved or spoiled everything. In those days, Mahakal was a very open temple. Nilkant was a very open temple. And there was no other gods or goddesses in the vicinity. Remember, today hundreds of gods and goddesses are there. There was no gods or goddess in the vicinity. And I had a revelation that this Nilakantha, so I was told this story by the Pujari Sannyasi there later on, that this, after taking halahal, Shiva felt the burning sensation. He bathed himself before a waterfall, which is not seen now, and sat for meditation and separated the mind from the body. By the time the poison had come up to throat, and so that throat is blue. Now, in that state, we think that Kurmangani or Sarvasha we heard in the Gita, that is the man who goes into Samadhi, pulls back all his indriyas inside the body. Now, Shiva himself, he pulls back all his physical limbs inside the body. So what remains? Length and breadth different. That means Shiva sitting in meditation or Samadhi, and near the throat is the blue mark. So that is the meaning of Shiva Linga. Linga means sign, chinna, and this is the sign of Shiva in Samadhi. A thought came to my mind, why in this temple there is no mother there? And the revelation told me, in this state, mother, the power of creation, preservation, destruction, is not separate. It is within him. And that is why there is no image of mother there. Next day, I am not going to the details of what the Pujari told me, etc. So this I remember, that when there is no creation, Mahakali is one with Mahakal. Next. Shamakali has a somewhat tender aspect and is worshipped in the Hindu households. So if Shamakali picture is there in the Hindu households, it is there, should be worshipped and is worshipped. Smashan Kali or Mahakali. Mahakali has no form. Smashan Kali picture should not be in the house. It cannot be worshipped in the houses. It can be worshipped only in the temples. So, Shama Kali has a somewhat tender aspect and is worshipped in the Hindu household. What is Shama Kali? She is the dispenser of boons and the dispeller of fear. Abhaya Vara. Abhaya means don't be afraid, and Vara means I am giving you boon. That is the Shama Kali. People worship Raksha Kali, the protectress, in times of epidemic, famine, earthquake, drought, and flood. So that is Raksha Kali. Her work is only to protect in these cosmic terribles. Now comes Smashana Kali. Smashana Kali is the embodiment of the power of destruction. Mahakali is no form. She, after the pralaya has been made, before the new creation, she is one with Kala. Now this Smashana Kali is the embodiment of the power of destruction. She resides in the cremation ground, surrounded by corpses, jackals, and terrible female spirits called Yogini, Dakini. So female spirits, they are there. From her mouth flows a stream of blood. From her neck hangs a garland of human heads, and around her waist is a girdle made of human hands. So this is the Smashana Kali, terrible aspect of Kali. Now, he starts talking of after the destruction of the universe, at the end of a great cycle, Kalpa, creation, preservation, destruction, this is taken as a great cycle. At the end of the great cycle, after the pralaya, now all this is, you will say in Vedanta there is no mention. So all this is the personalized figures of the principles of Vedanta. In Vedanta there is a Saguna Brahma who will give you boons and freedom from fear. That in Tantra literature has become Kali, Shama Kali. And there is a destruction. And that destruction is represented by corpses, jackals, Yogini Dakini, blood, Rundamala, and Hastamala, Hasta Mekhala. So these are the grossified physical descriptions of the Vedantic principles. And people who follow Tantra or like to think of God as mother do experience this. Not that they're imaginations. They are the physical descriptions of something which Vedanta has told in principle. And those sadhakas who follow the mother worship do experience this. And the brightest example is Sri Ramakrishna. And that is why he is describing. He is not describing from books. He has seen all this. And so he is describing. Even when he was a young person, he used to go to the smashan, and when his elder brother was approaching, he used to say, don't come. These jackals and yoginis and dakinis will harm you. So these are matters of experience for those who follow that path. This is not essential that everybody follows that. Those who are Vaishnavas or follow Krishna or Rama, they will not find this. they will find the creation, preservation and destruction in different forms. So that is the thing about them. Now, after the destruction of the universe, at the end of a great cycle, the Divine Mother, now which one of these has not been described? Perhaps the last one, which is called Smashana Kali, because immediately after destruction is the description here. Or Mother in general. After the destruction of the universe, at the end of a great cycle, the Divine Mother garners the seeds for the next creation. So in Vedanta, when the pralaya has taken place, the whole world goes into seed form. Even in the Puranas, in the Manusmruti, it is described like that Noah's Ark in the mythology of other religions, that a pair of each was kept. So these are the different descriptions in what Vedanta says, that everything goes into seed form. So the description is the mother garners the seeds for the next creation. She is like the elderly mistress of the house who has a hodgepodge pot. Hodgepodge means no proper shape pot, in which she keeps different articles for household use. So this is how people can visualize that mother does not keep like that. But for us to visualize and follow that, he says that the old women in the household keep a pot in which she keeps different articles for household use. People laugh at this figurative description. But Thakur says, oh yes, housewives have pots like that. Here, housewives is mentioned, previous sentence, older women were mentioned. So you may say the older housewives, or in Bengali, Thakurma and all that, grandmothers, have pots like that, where they keep sea foam. Sea foam, there is a footnote. The master perhaps referred to the cuttlefish bone found on the seashore. The popular belief is that it is hardened sea foam. Blue pills, small bundles of seeds of cucumber, pumpkin, and gourd, and so on. So, seeds of everything. They take them out when they want them. That is household. Here, they are taken out in the next creation. In the same way, after the destruction of the universe, my divine mother, Thakur worshipped that mother. Thakur loved that mother. Thakur made that mother his own. So he says, my divine mother. The embodiment of Brahman. So Mahakali, you remember. So the Brahman itself, when expressed as the world, become the power. And that power is my Kali. Gathers together the seeds for the next creation. After the creation, after the creation. So Pralaya, everything goes in the seed form. So mother, the power of the Brahman, garners them. Now she creates from them. And when she creates, after the creation, remember, this is before the creation, seeds. After the creation, the primal power dwells in the universe itself. Brahman power creates this universe. And where does this power remain? In that universe. Can we understand that? To understand that, Thakur gives another example. She brings forth this phenomenal world and then pervades it. In the Vedas, creation is likened to the spider and its web. The spider brings the web out of itself and then remains in it. That web comes from spider's stomach, but it becomes big and the spider remains inside it. That is the way we can feel that God creates the world out of himself and is within that universe. God is the container of the universe and also what is contained in it. Adhar, Ade, supporter and supported, or container or content. This is a very important philosophical principle. Because generally, when we say God is all pervading, our notion is that generally that there is all and God is inside. Like air is filled in a balloon, but then balloon is the container. It is bigger than air when expanded. And even if the air is taken out, that rubber of the balloon remains. This is a faulty example for the all-pervading nature of God. Now, suppose that balloon also is God, air also is God. That is the all-pervading nature. In the Upanishads, Sabhaya Bhantaro Yaja. It has itself become the world. So, outside, inside, it is all He. So that Thakur, in a simple flow of language, he has asked about mother, and Thakur has brought it to the creation, preservation, and destruction, so that we may feel that God is within us and God is without us also. Then the name Kali, Thakur takes for consideration. Kali in Sanskrit, in Bengali or Indian languages will mean black in color. Though, as Thakur has described, Kal, female form is Kali. Time the destroyer in female form is Kali. But because of that name, a wrong concept may grow that Kali means black in color. So that Thakur takes up. Automatically, by association of the words, this idea may arise, and does arise when we hear the word Kali, that black. But it is not so. Not at all so, Thakur is telling. Is Kali, he starts with a question, is Kali my divine mother of a black complexion? My divine mother, he knows her very well. She appears black because she is viewed from a distance. You have not seen Kali. It appears from a great distance, so she appears black. Example, but when intimately known, she is no longer so. The sky appears blue at a distance, but look at it close by and you will find that it has no color. The water of the ocean looks blue at a distance, but when you go near and take it in your hand, you find that it is colorless. So Kali viewed from a distance may appear black, but if you can experience from near, we'll find that she is not black nor blue. Now, because my divine mother and describing her colors, Thakur started getting that experience. That was his nature. When he just talks about Kali, he can experience that. And so the master became intoxicated with divine love and sang. So one point is he wanted to explain the color of mother. Second point, he said, intimately if you see, so if he experienced from very near and then became intoxicated with that experience and sang. Let me read in Bengali songs. Ma ki amar kalo re, kalo roop digambari, rit padmak kare alo re. Is Kali my mother really black? The naked one, that is Kali. If we see the Kali image, she is painted dark blue. And she has this girdle of hands and this and that and ornaments, but she has no dress on. Because Brahman has no form, because she is the power of destruction, she has no body consciousness, she has no clothes. So, the naked one of blackest hue from a distance lights the lotus of the heart. Digambari, but she is nothing but consciousness. And so, illumines the heart. So, in intoxication, in experience of the mother, you can see that she is within your heart. She has no color, or she may appear black, but she is all light, light of consciousness, and that illumines my heart. And then my heart can experience the outside world, or my heart, if it goes on looking at Kali, will get final emancipation also. The master continued. That means coming back to normal consciousness, he continued the talk. Bondage and liberation are both of our making. So he has now Kali, Keshav asked, and he started telling our life. That is the purpose of his talking of Kali. He has said that she illumines our heart. So, what is she? Ichhamayi, self-willed person. And our bondage and freedom is all her creation. Mind you. So if one can, not that we should not do anything, if one can really surrender to her, she will open us. Bondage and liberation are both of her making. By her Maya means deluding power. Worldly people, sansari, because they are attached to this and that, become entangled in woman and gold. We again and again studied this expression, become entangled in desire for enjoyment and desire for means of enjoyment. And again, through her grace, they attain their liberation. So her grace is turning the jiva towards herself. Her grace does not mean I get some money or my house or marriage or this or that. Her grace means I get liberation. Her deluding power means I get attached. She is called the savior, Tara, and the remover of the bondage that binds one to the world. That is Bhavaharini. She is Bhavabandhaner Bandhanaharini, Tarini. So that is the names. Then the master sang the following song in his melodious voice. So because he is able to see that, he is expressing this through Ram Prasad's song, the phenomena of this in a different figurative form. Bengali, Shama ma udache gudi, bhav sansar bajar maje. ওই যে আশাবায়ু ভাবে উড়ে বাঁধা তাহে মায়া দড়ি काक गंडी मोशी गाथा, पंजरादी नाना नाडी, गुडी स्वगुणे निर्माण करा, कारिगोरी बडाबडी, विषय मेजेर माझा, कर्कशा होयचे दोडी, गुडी लखेर दुटो एकटा काटे, हेशे दावमा हाथ चापडी, प्रसाद बोले, दक्षिणा बातासे मुडी जावे, गुडी जावे उडी, भव संसार समुद्र पारे, पोडबेगिये ताड़ाताड़ी. So, let us go to English. In the world's busy marketplace, O Shama, thou art flying kites. So, this is the figure given now. Jivas are like kites. Sang the following song, their footnote has explained everything. The allusion of this song is to the well-known kite flying competition in India. Several people fly their kites and try to cut one another's kite strings. Whoever has his strings cut loses his kite and quits the game. So it is like becoming free from the world. In the world's busy marketplace, O Shama, thou art flying kites, high up they soar on the wind of hope. Asha Vayu. Man goes on hoping for this or that, and so the kites soar high. Held fast by Maya's string, delusion is the string. Their frames are human skeletons. Frames of the kites are human skeletons. Their sails of the three gunas made. The tail-like portion is like the three gunas, but all their curious workmanship is merely for ornament, this appearance of the body. Upon the kite strings, thou hast rubbed the manja paste of the worldliness. Manja, what is manja? Explained in the footnote. A glue of barley and powdered glass. So that powdered glass cuts other strings. In our life, it is all pointed like the glass. Upon the kite string, thou hast rubbed the manja paste of the worldliness, so as to make each straining strand all the more sharp and strong. Straining strand in our life, different forces pulling us here and there, they are sharp and strong. Out of 100,000 kites, at best, one or two break fine. Break fine means they are cut. And thou dost laugh and clap. So she is happy when somebody is free, but she goes on playing with all the kites. Both sides are true. And that is why he said, both bandhana and mukti is in her hands. And thou dost laugh and clap thy hands, O mother, watching them. Now there is another way. Without being cut away, the kites can fly away from sansara. On favoring winds, says Ramprasad, Mother's grace, the kites set loose with speedily. Be borne away to the infinite across the sea of the world. Across the sea of the world, they blow away. So Mukta, either by cut the bondage or by their own sadhana and God's grace, they go away. Or we may combine both. When they are cut away, they fly like that. The master said, the Divine Mother is always playful and sportive. That is the Vedantic principle of Maya. This universe is her play. She is self-willed and must always have her own way. She is full of bliss, Anandamai. She gives freedom to one out of 100,000. So that is the facts of life. Among thousands, somebody attempts, and among many of such, somebody becomes free. So here amongst lakhs, hundreds of thousands, one or two become free. a Brahmo devotee, our life? So we ask. But sir, if she likes, she can give freedom to all. Why then has she kept us bound to the world? Thakur has already replied, why cannot be asked of her? She is self-willed. There is nothing apart from her who can cause her this or do. There is nothing apart from her due to which she will do. She is self-willed. Master, that is her will. She wants to continue playing with her created beings in a game of hide and seek. Now, that is not normal hide and seek as we know. So, here in the footnote, it is explained the special hide and seek played in Bengal. The illusion is to the Indian game of hide and seek, in which the leader, known as the granny, maybe an old woman or maybe some leader, bandages the eyes of the players. So it's a different type of hide and seek. Bandages the eyes of the players and hides herself. Hides herself. The players are supposed to find her. If any player can touch her, the bandage is removed from his eyes and is released from the game. This is the hide and seek game. So the Buddhi, that old woman, wants the play to go on. But if somebody can find her and touch her, she is released. So both are her. That is her will. She wants to continue playing with her created beings. In a game of hide and seek, the running about soon stops. If in the beginning all the players touch the granny, if all touch her, then how can the game go on? Fact of life. That displeases her. That is not the will of the Lord. Her pleasure is in continuing the game. Therefore, the poet said in that previous song, out of 100,000 kites, at best but one or two break free. And thou dost laugh and clap the hands, O mother, watching them. So she likes that also, but she likes the game to continue. Why cannot be asked? Self-willed is self-willed. It is as if another figurative description, beautiful description. Thakur alone can give this. It is as if the Divine Mother said to the human mind in confidence means secretly, with a sign from her eye, go and enjoy the world. How can one blame the mind? So, it is God's arrangement that the mind is deluded. How can one blame the mind? The mind can disentangle itself from worldliness if through her grace she makes it turn towards herself. So the mind is bahirmukh, goes outside. If the mind turns towards the reality by her grace, then only he can become mukta. Only then does it become devoted to the lotus feet of the Divine Mother. So turning towards God means he gets love for that, attracted to one's real nature. And that is the main grace of God, being attracted to God. God is our real nature. Man generally goes outside world, but by God's grace, it turns inside towards one's own real nature. Whereupon Sri Ramakrishna, taking upon himself as it were the agonies of all householders, sang a song complaining to the Divine Mother. This also Ramprasad song. আমি এই খেদে খেদ করি, তুমি মাতা থাকতে আমার জাগা ঘরে চুরি, মনে করি তোমার নাম করি, কিন্তু সময়ে পাশরি। हमें बुझेची जेनेची आशय पेयेची ये सब तुम्हारी चातुरी किछु दिले ना पेले ना नीले ना खेले ना से दोष की हमारी यदि दीते पेते नीते खेते दीताम खावाताम तुम्हारी यश अपयश सुरस कुरस सकल रस तुम्हारी होगो বসে থেকে রসে থেকে রসভঙ্গ কেন করো রসেশ্বরী প্রসাদ বলে মন দিয়েছে মনের আঁকি ঠারি ওমা তোমার সৃষ্টি দৃষ্টি পড়া মিষ্টি বলে গুলি Read English. Those who know Bengali will follow and enjoy. So I read it. Mother, this is the grief that sorely grieves my heart. All householders, that even with thee for mother, that means mother is there. And though I am wide awake, I am trying to be cautious in this world. There should be robbery in my house. The mind has been stolen by the outside world. I am trying to be cautious. You are there. But the fact is that mind is stolen by the outside world. Many, and what is the meaning? Many and many a time I vow to call on thee. Yet when the time for prayer comes around, I have forgotten. That is how the mind has been stolen. Now I see it all, thy trick. It is all due to your delusionary power. As thou hast never given, so thou receive it not. What is give and take? If you had given me devotion, I would have loved you. You have not given me, so I cannot love you. Am I to blame for this, O mother? Hadst thou but given, surely then thou hadst received. If you had given me devotion, surely you would have received my love. Out of thy own gifts I should have given to thee. From where I would give love to you? If you had given from that, I would have given you. Glory and shame, bitter and sweet are thine alone. Everything in the world is your own. This world is nothing but thy play. Then why, O blissful one, dost thou cause a rift in it? Why, Raseshwari, you are made of bliss, but why you create these strifes in the world? Says Ramprasad, thou hast bestowed on me this mind, and with a knowing wink of thy eye, bidden it at the same time to go and enjoy the world. That Thakur had already described. And so I wander here, forlorn through thy creation. Forlorn, alone, I wander through the world, your creation. Blasted as it were by someone's evil glance. As if, now, as if blasted by someone's evil glance, I am forlorn and traveling in the world. Taking the bitter for the sweet. So the world is bitter and I want to enjoy it. That is delusion. Taking the unreal for the real. That is the Vedantic principle. The master continued, men are deluded through our maya and have become attached to the world. Says Ramprasad, thou hast bestowed on me this mind, and with a knowing wink of thine eye, bidden it at the same time to go and enjoy the world. Now a Brahmo devotee. This Maya and Kali and topic is gone in a way. But hearing this, a Brahmo devotee has become terrified. And he wants a release. And yet he is attached to the world. So the question comes out in a peculiar way. Peculiar way. Master Masha's question we should always keep for our comparison. He first asked how to fix the mind in God, then asked how I should live in the world. Here, sir, can't we realize God without complete renunciation? Thakur has not talked about renunciation here. But if she turns our mind to her, her grace, we give up the world and go to her. It is evident. Now the Brahmo devotee does not want to give up. He is attached to the world, and yet he wants freedom. So he says, can we not get that freedom without total renunciation? Now what should Thakur reply? Thakur replies in a very diplomatic way, spiritually diplomatic. He never says what you say is wrong, never. No, he does not say it. He says, all right. And from all right, he will slowly drag the mind towards God. That is Thakur's play. So Master with a laugh. Why laugh? He has fully understood that Brahma devotee's mind, that he is very much attached to the world and yet he wants mukti. So in that spirit he replies, of course you can. Of course you can. But you will have to do like that, like that, like that. Slowly he will carry the mind. First is an assurance. If he says, no, you cannot, what will happen? Then I want to live in the world, I am attached, I cannot get mukti. Like that will be the reaction. So, first you can. Then the rasta, the way. Why should you renounce everything? That means accepting that you are an householder, you cannot renounce everything. The sannyasis can. You cannot renounce everything. You need not renounce everything. That is how he begins. And slowly, slowly, he will bring that man to the real truth of total renunciation. You are all right as you are, following the middle path. What is the middle path? You want to remain in the world, you want to get mukta also, that is the middle path. So gradually you may come. Like molasses, partly solid and partly liquid, jaggery or molasses is also liquid, also solid. So like that you are there. You have not become sugar, neither you are sugarcane juice. Do you know the game of Nux? That is a peculiar game played in those days. Footnote. In the Indian card game of Nux, the object is to stay in the game by scoring under 17 points. Anyone scoring 70 or more has to retire. So, you want to live in the world and you want the talk or idea of freedom. And so, little you may renounce, but live in the world. You are a wise man. That is how he catches that man's mind. Having scored the maximum number of points, I am out of the game. I can't enjoy it as if they are enjoying it. But you are very clever. All this is to the man of attachment. Some of you have scored 10 points, some 6 and some 5. You have scored just the right number. So you are not out of the game like me. The game can go on. Why? That's fine. So reply to can we get freedom? The reply is that the game can go on. Starting that of course you can, and then he says the game can go on. Why? That's fine. All laugh. They understood Thakur's trick. I tell you the truth. There is nothing wrong in your being in the world. Now see. Now the real guidance starts. There is nothing wrong in your being in the world, but you must direct your mind towards God. So where you are outside is not the concern. Direct your mind towards God, otherwise how will you become free? Otherwise you will not succeed. Straight answer. After catching his mind, he is giving the real answer. And so start by telling, I tell you the truth. Do your duty with one hand and with the other hold to God. After the duty is over, you will hold to God with both hands, will, and the duty is never over. Unless you decide, unless you love God, your duties will never be over. But if you love God and feel bound by duty, a day will come when you will have no duty, and then you can fully dedicate yourself to God. It is all a question of the mind. Now it tells Kali is like that, Kali is like that. And it tells Kali has told mind like that. So now he brings it to mind. It is all a question of the mind. Bondage and liberation are of the mind alone. So Kali forgotten, except that her grace. And Kali has told mind, go and enjoy in the world. So now it is up to the mind. See how cleverly, beautifully, sweetly he has brought the man to the real path. By telling, yes, you can remain there, but you can love God. The mind will take the color, you die with it. Important now from sadhana. If you remain in the world, mind will be polluted. If you go to solitude and think of God, then mind will become strong. It is like white clothes just returned from the laundry. If you dip them in red dye, they will be red. If you dip them in blue or green, they will be blue or green. They will take only the color you dip them in. So, in what association you keep your mind? Whatever it may be, whatever the color may be. Now it gives examples of association and change in the mind. Haven't you noticed that if you read a little English, you at once begin to utter English words? Foot, it made. They are not English words, but the sound or imitation of English words. Then you will put on boots and whistle a tune because you know English. So the association of Englishmen in India will come to you. And you are wearing slippers, but now you will wear boots and start whistling as if you are free in the world. Whistle is a sign of feeling free, not responsible in this world. Enjoy of the bitter things of this world. Happy in the miseries of this world. Now another side. Or if a scholar studies Sanskrit, he will at once rattle off Sanskrit verses. Association. If you are in, so now the thing to be exemplified. On the other hand, if you are in bad company, then you will talk and think like your companions. On the other hand, when you are in the company of devotees, you will think and talk only of God. See, slowly showing the way. You have to be in the company of devotees. The mind is everything. A man has now another example. The mind is everything. A man has his wife on one side and his daughter on the other. He shows his affection to them in different ways, but his mind is one and the same. So, association, attitude in the worldly situation. Bondage of the mind and freedom is also of the mind. A man is free if he constantly thinks, I am a free soul. Oh, this will take up tomorrow. A tremendous statement being made by Thakur, tremendous statement. We thought that Thakur has made path of mukti free by weeping for 24 hours. But here he says that moment, a man is free if he constantly thinks, I am a free soul. How can I be bound? Whether I live in the world or in the forest, I am a child of God, the King of Kings. Who can bind me? So, not immediately, it is to be a constant thought. Constant thought. If bitten by a snake, A man may get rid of its venom by saying emphatically, there is no poison in me. In the same way, by repeating with grit and determination, I am not bound, I am free, one really becomes so. One really becomes free. So, a tremendous statement has been made by Thakur. Because freedom is man's nature. It is not that he is creating something. Freedom is man's nature. If he can say, I am free, that means knowledge of his real nature, faith in his real nature, acting up to its real nature, assertion of one's real nature, that is the meaning of saying I am free. And if you can say that constantly, you will become free. We shall take up this topic again tomorrow, please. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviridhitam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadaatatam Bhuvi Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Wonderful.